everyone, this is Jocelyn again, and today's video is all about the certificate of clearance or the police clearance. Where did you get this clearance? Let's start it. So, if you are applying for a US visa and then you are former OFW or overseas Filipino workers, or you're living in abroad for more than 6 months, the embassy need your certificate of clearance from the police where you at. For example, you are in Singapore for more than 6 months or a year or something like that. You have to obtain a certificate of clearance from the Police Department of Singapore, stated there that while you are staying in their country, you did not commit any crime. And that is the number one requirements at the embassy, and you have to bring that during your interview. But before you apply for a certificate of clearance or a police clearance from abroad, you have to make sure that your case is already approved, because they need the letter from the NVC or the embassy, stated there that they need the certificate of clearance for your migration. But before you apply for the certificate of clearance or COC, you need to gather first all the documents that they need. You need your photo ID, a passport size, NVC letter, that is the letter of authority, your passport biographic page, and then your additional ID. For me, I use the voter's ID. It said here National Registered Identification Card, so that's the number one also, and also the fingerprints. So in fingerprints, you have to go to the police station who authorized to do a fingerprints, but it's better for you to go in the headquarters, because for me, I go to the headquarters in the Camp Crami or something like that. So I have form like this because I have extra also, and then I have my ID here. So this is my fingerprint. This is number one requirements also, and then they have sealed also by the police. So this form is from the website of Singapore, because I am former OFW in Singapore. So I download this form, and for my copy only, because in the Philippines, for us, we have our own forms. So you have to go there and you tell them that you need a fingerprint for immigration purposes. They know that already. So when I arrived there at the headquarters, they gave me a number, and then I pay to the land bank. I pay 200 peso, and then I go back to the lady who do my fingerprinting, and then also I bring my ID also. So she said to me that we have our own form in in the Philippines. So this form, I submit this to the because I am former OFW in Singapore. So our form in the Philippines, I send to the police in Singapore, and then I do this for my own personal copy like this. I have an ID also here. They said it to me, oh, you did not use that. It's okay as long as I have a copy. They have a sealed also here, Philippine National Police. So they need this one, and then my name, and then race Asian. So this is the #1 requirements for our migration. So I have to show you also what the steps of applying for this, because a little, a little bit of, it's not really hard, but if you don't have a patient, well, so I inquire first to the Singapore Embassy in the Philippines what to do, and they gave me the instruction. They said you have to apply direct to the Singapore police force, because they are the one who issued the certificate of clearance. The first thing I had to do is to appeal to the Singapore police force. So I write an appeal letter, stated there that I appeal for a certificate of clearance. I was working there in this address, and that year we need a COC or certificate of clearance for the immigration purposes and something like that. So I hope you can help me. And then so after a day of my application for appeal, they give me the reference number, and also they message me, your application for appeal is approved. You need to proceed your application for COC or the certificate of clearance. So I proceed. So in order to proceed your application for the COC or the certificate of clearance, they need also your foreign identification number. So your foreign identification number is at the back of your work permit. You have to take a picture of that, because after your contract, you have to surrender your work permit to your boss, because they return that to the MOM. So you have to take a picture of that, because one day you may need that. This is the application for the certificate of clearance. I do like this only for security reason. This one is the reference number stated here. Your application has been approved and submitted successfully. So I do photocopy also and everything. So this is the reference number, and the personal particular is a field mandatory. So you have to write that there. So field mandatory are identification number, or NRIC, or RN. So this is my foreign identification number, and also the number of your passport, your salutation if you are Mrs. or Miss, or if you are a guy, Mister, or something like that. Your full name in the passport, stated in the passport. Your gender, your race, of course we are Filipino. If you don't have occupation, leave that. You have to leave that, or you have to put not applicable. They have a salary. Non-service crew, not applicable. Salary per month, not applicable. Your birth date, birthplace, your birthday, nationality, you are Filipino, and then marital status, you are single, and then nationality of spouse. So you have to put American. Number of children, 0. Handphone number, I did not put my cell phone number, because I put my email address. So, are you currently residing in Singapore? I said no, because I am in the Philippines at that time. So residential address, so I put the address in Manila, this one, and then my email And then highest education, I did not answer that. And then country requesting COC from SPF, I did not. So I put America, because they are the one who request the certificate of clearance. And then your departure, for example, you don't have departure, you have to put that one only because they need, this is mandatory, so they need this. For example, November something, you know, you have to put that only even if you don't know yet your departure. And then what purpose? A purpose for which COC is required. I put overseas marriage. Do you have any relatives currently staying in the country of your destination? I said no. Have you ever studied work in the country of destination previously? I said no. So the documents I submitted, this is what I gathered that I mentioned to you. This is the one. I scan my photo or photo ID, a passport size, because they need a scan. Letter of authority, which is the NVC letter. Photocopy of passport or biographic page. This one. They need a scan also. The ID, for me, I use the voter's ID back to back. They need that. And also this fingerprint documents. So this one I scan also and send that to their website. So after that, I pay like $55 or something, $60, something like that. And then they said it there. I declare that the information stated in this application and the attachment are true to the best of my knowledge, and that I have not willfully suppressed any material fact. I understand that any previous of inaccurate or false information will render this application. That's it. Print. And then everything, this one, I have a guide. So after this, so I pay. So I have a receipt also. So this one, I have a receipt also. A $55. Yeah, $55. But I don't know how much it is now. After my application, I wait for the acknowledgement also. So I print the acknowledgement and the receipt, and this one also, and also this one, the Philippine like this. So I send it to them. I send via DHL. It's okay if I pay, I think 1,500, something like that, to send the documents. So one folder. So I don't want to send in the, you know, a post office because I need that documents to be there. So when they arrive, this is my Singapore police report. This is a photocopy because the original is in the immigration or the embassy. So this is a photocopy now. So I do photocopy. So the one who get this is my friend Sharon Bidan. Shout out to you, my friend, and thank you very much for helping me. So the time of this start that I apply, like I think 5 working days, but for me it's been, you know, for more than a month before I receive this, because you know why? Supposed to be we use the courier, but I did not, you know, I accidentally clicked the personal instead of courier. So luckily I have a friend in Singapore which is named Sharon Bidan. So I make an authorization letter um, I get her work permit number and her name, and but before that, I write to the Singapore police force that I have my friend to get my certificate of clearance, and then I make a photocopy of my what's so called that letter of authorization letter. So I forwarded it to Sharon, and then they have already a copy. A Singapore police force, they have a copy of my authorization. So when she arrived there at Singapore, so she's at and she's showing her work permit and also the authorization. Okay, go to there, and then they're very nice. They are very accommodating. So, and Sharon sent it to me back via DHL. So, thank you very much, Sharon, for helping me. This is it. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching.